Maybe I made a mistake yesterday, but yesterday's me is still me. I am who I am today, with all my faults. Tomorrow I might be a tiny bit wiser, and that's me too. These faults and mistakes are what I am, making up the brightest stars in the constellation of my life. I have come to love myself for who I was, who I am, and who I hope to become. Beautifully said by the lead singer of the Korean group BTS. You are listening again to a Live Light production presented by Charl Botha. Walking in the Knysna forests, I looked at all the trees around me, and it was quite interesting to see how many parasitic plants were growing on the trees. Now, according to Wikipedia, a parasitic relationship is one in which one organism, the parasite, lives off another organism, the host, harming it and possibly causing death. The parasite lives in or on the body of the host. Last week, in our discussion on becoming the best version of myself, we had a look at the second step on our journey. And that was, as you might remember, if you want true change, face yourself. And as we have said, for most of us, facing ourselves is a very difficult task. Of course, when we forge enough courage to face ourselves in the mirror, we don't like what we see in the mirror. We see all the bad mistakes we've made, all the things people have said about us, and all the things we were made to believe about ourselves. All these things I've just mentioned are the parasites in our lives. We allowed them to grow on us. And over the years, they became such a part of ourselves that we started to believe that they are an integral part of us. So we allowed the parasites to define who we are. The wonderful news I have for you this morning is that you are not the parasite. You are the tree. By understanding and accepting this, you can start to celebrate your 100% unique and true being. So the other very important thing that you have to realize is that you actually cannot change, and you don't have to change. All you have to do is to get rid of all the parasites in your life. As it was mentioned in the definition of a parasite, quite interestingly, parasites grow on the outside of the host. Let me explain this by example. For argument's sake, let's say you grew up in a house where you didn't get all the love, attention, affirmation, and all the things you needed to develop a good self-esteem. At school, you weren't a star, and all the feedback you got from the teachers and other people at school, and even some friends, were all negative. This all resulted in you coming to the conclusion that you are not good enough for anything. Unfortunately, in the process, you become more and more a hosting target for the parasite of low self-esteem. So one day, you were invited to a friend's party. Most of the other people that were attending took some drinks, and you were offered some as well. Seeing that you have this desperate need to be accepted, to be part of the party, and even the heart of the party, you took some drinks. And that's where your tree of life was infested by the parasite of worthlessness. Because you got drunk, you were carried home, you were scolded by your parents, you were called names, and more, you started to believe that you are the parasite and not the tree. I've started with a quote from the Korean band BTS, and I want to close today as well with a beautiful quote from them. Until you accept those darker aspects of yourself, the shadows among the light, the parasites between you and me, the self you love won't be your true self, but an idealized version. That's why loving yourself takes courage and forgiveness. You need courage to face your true self with all your flaws and imperfections, and you need to have the compassion to forgive yourself for them. You and me were made in the image of God, but over the years we were infested by parasites, and unfortunately we allowed them to define our being, who we are. The more you focus on who you are, the more the parasites will just drop dead. Start growing and stop blaming. Accept responsibility for who you truly are.